Manufacturing industries helps in modernizing agriculture. It reduces the heavy dependence of people on agricultural income by providing them jobs and helps in eradication of poverty and unemployment. And these are some of the importance of manufacturing industries. And when we want to understand it even better, the classification of industries is important. Classification of industries. Good morning, myself Prakriti from class 10th D. Industries. Industries are classified on the basis of source of raw material according to their main role, on the basis of capital investment, on the basis of ownership, and on the basis of bulk and weight of raw materials and finished goods. On the basis of source of raw material, it is classified into agro-based and mineral-based. Agro-based industries use agricultural raw materials, example cotton, wool, jute, silk textile, rubber, sugar, tea, coffee, and edible oil. So the agro-based industries, they use the agricultural product as their raw materials. Mineral-based use minerals as raw materials, example iron and steel, cement, aluminium, petrochemicals, machines and tools. Mineral-based industries use minerals as their raw materials. So here you can see the example, iron and steel industry, where iron ore is a mineral-based raw material for iron and steel industry. And for the cement factory, limestone, gypsum, coal and other minerals are the mineral-based raw material for cement factory, and bauxite is a mineral-based raw material for aluminum industry, and crude oil is also a mineral-based raw material for petrochemicals. According to their main role, basic or key industries and consumer industries supply their goods or raw materials to manufacture other goods, example iron and steel and copper smelting, aluminium smelting. Basic or key industries, they supply their goods or the products which they manufacture in their industry. They supply that goods to other industries as raw material. So that means that the products which these industries produce or manufacture are further raw material for the other industries, example iron and steel and copper smelting, aluminium smelting. Consumer industries produces goods for direct use by consumers, example sugar, toothpaste, paper, sewing machines, fans, and etc. So the consumer industries produces the goods for direct use by consumers. That means the consumer industries products or the consumer industries produces are meant for the direct consumption of the consumers, example sugar is meant for the direct consumption by the consumers, paper, toothpaste and etc. On the basis of capital investment, small scale industries and large scale industries. Small scale industries, those industries which invest less than 1 crore rupees are called small scale industries. They employ small number of people. They produce small amount of output, example tissues, papers, pens, small toys and etc. So the small scale industries are those which have investment or which have invested less than 1 crore rupees on their industries, and they employ a small number of people, and the output is small. They produce small amount of output, example tissue papers, pens, small toys, etc. comes under the small scale industries. Large scale industries, those industries which invest more than 1 crore rupees are called large scale industries. So the industries which invest or which has investment of more than 1 crore rupees are called large scale industries. They employ large number of people. Large scale industries employ a large number of people. They produce big amount of output. Example: engineering industry, food processing industry, automobile industry, and etc. On the basis of ownership, it is again classified into 4: public sector, private sector, joint sector, and cooperative sector. Public sector and private sector. Public sector owned and operated by government agencies. Example: BHEL, SAIL, and etc. So the public sectors are those sectors which are owned and operated by the government, which is under the government, and example: BHEL, SAIL, etc. And here are some of the other examples of public sector. Private sector owned and operated by individuals or group of individuals. Private sector are owned and operated by individuals, so they are operated by the individuals or a group of individuals. Example: Tisco, Bajaj Auto Limited, Tower Industries, and etc. comes under the private sector. Joint sector and cooperative sector. The industries which are run by the state and individuals or group of individuals. The joint sector, which is run by the government and by the individuals, is called as joint sector. Example: OIL, Oil India Limited, is jointly owned by public and private sector. And here are some other examples of joint sector. Cooperative sector. Industries owned and operated by the producers or suppliers of raw materials, workers, or both. So the producers or the suppliers of the raw materials the producers or the suppliers of raw materials, workers, or both owns the cooperative sector. They work jointly. They share profits or losses proportionately. So the profits or losses are shared among them equally or shared proportionately. Example: sugar industry in Maharashtra and core industry in Kerala. And here are some other examples of cooperative sector. Based on the bulk and weight of raw materials and finished goods. Heavy industries and light industries. Heavy industries use heavy and bulky raw material and produce heavy materials. Example: iron and steel industry. So heavy industries, they use the heavy raw material and produces heavy materials, are classified into the heavy industries. Example: iron and steel industry. Light industries use light raw material and produces light materials. Example: electric fans, watches, sewing machines, etc. So the light industries, they use the raw materials which are light in weight and also produces the materials which are also light in weight. So example: electric fans, watches, sewing machines, etc. Thank you.